Dear students, today I am going to narrate a very interesting story, A Tale of Two Worlds. It is an excerpt from the novel A Tale of Two Cities. The author of the novel is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was born in Portsmouth on February 7, 1812. Charles was the second of 8 children to John Dickens and Elizabeth Dickens. In 1833, Dickens began to contribute short stories and essays to periodicals. Dickens' first book, titled Sketches by Boz, was published in 1836. Charles Dickens died at home on 9th June 1870 after suffering a stroke. The novel, A Tale of Two Cities, was written by him in 1859. The story is set in the late 18th century against the background of the French Revolution. Monsieur the Marquis is a fictional character in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. He is a French aristocrat who embodies an inhumanly cruel caste system. He shows absolutely no regard for human life and wishes that the peasants of the world would be exterminated. The other characters of the story are Ernest Defarge, who is the vendor of wine, Gaspard, whose child is run down with Marquis' carriage, and Madame Defarge. Monseigneur is one of the great lords in power at the court in France. He holds a reception at his grand hotel in Paris, where the excesses and superficiality of the French aristocracy are displayed. While still handsome, fashionable, haughty in manner, and exquisitely poised, Monsieur the Marquis, a man of 60, is out of favour at the royal court for reasons that are not specified. The Monsieur is greeted without warmth by Monseigneur, a great lord and senior courtier. Snubbed, he angrily gets into his carriage and drives away. His carriage heads for his country through the streets of Paris at the breakneck pace favoured by the nobility. Although most pedestrians scatter in terror, his carriage runs over a little child, being one of the Gaspards. There's a loud cry from a number of voices. "Killed!" shrieked the man in wild desperation. The people closed around and looked at Monsieur the Marquis. The Marquis shows no remorse at the sight of the crushed body, inquiring whether his horses are all right, and with the air of a gentleman who had accidentally broken some common thing and had paid for it, throws a gold coin to the distraught father. While the father was mourning, Ernest Defarge, the vendor of wine, appears and comforts the grieving father of the dead child. The remainder of the crowd watches in cowed silence, but an unknown hand throws a coin back into the carriage. Before driving on, the Marquis responds with cold contempt that he would willingly ride over any of them. Among the men, no voice or a hand or even an eye is raised, but the women, Madame Defarge, who stood knitting, looks up steadily. She stands erect, stares at the Marquis boldly in the face as if knitting his fate. This scene foreshadows the oncoming revolution in France.